Hi everyone, I am Subtan Hassan and you are watching Night Club. In our first tutorial, we learned how to play chess, and in the second one, we explored the 4 golden rules. Now in this third tutorial, we are exploring some of the essential chess tactics that are fundamental for every player, whether you are a complete beginner or aiming to refine your skills. While these tactics are indeed well known to grandmaster, mastering them is crucial for all level of play. So let's dive in and strengthen your chess foundation. Before we dive into the tutorial, please subscribe and hit the bell icon so you won't miss any upcoming lesson and can keep improving your skills. The very first tactic to explore is fork. This is a fork, but in chess, a fork is when one piece attacks two or more enemy pieces at the same time. As your opponent can save only one piece, a fork often wins material. The most common forking piece is the knight, just because knight can jump and attack in unexpected space. In this position, white has a fork. Do you see it? White can play knight takes c7. This is a check and the rook is attacked as well. The queen can't take the knight because the bishop protects it. So in next move, white can win a rook and a pawn. Here is another position. Can you find a fork for white queen? How can it attacks on rook h8 and a pawn on a7? Yes, on e4. As you can see, white queen is forming a battery with bishop and threatening a checkmate on a7 and attacking the rook on h8 at same time. White has to stop the checkmate threat, so it will save checkmate by moving his pawn one step forward. And you can capture white rook on h8. Just as it is a fork and black cannot respond to threat at same time. So white is winning material with his fork. Let's jump on to the next tactic, that are discovered attack. Most of the time in chess, you will use your piece to directly attack your opponent. But sometimes, most powerful moves are not done directly with the piece, but are revealed by moving a different piece. These are called discovered attacks. In this position, notice that white's rook is lined up with black's queen. Bishop takes h7. White discovers the attack on the black queen, but black cannot move the queen since black king is in check. After king take h7, rook take d7. White wins a queen and a pawn for a bishop. This is very powerful because your opponent must respond to the check, while your discovered attack can create another threat at same time. Because the king is the most important piece and check must be avoided, the king always has to get out of check if possible. One powerful way to use this to your advantage is the discovered check. The discovered check is just like any other discovered attack. By moving one piece, you discover an attack with another piece. In this case, you discover an attack against the king. Since the opponent must deal with the check, you basically get a free move for the piece you are moving to attack or capture an opponent piece. In this position, white's rook is lined up with the black king. The only thing in between those two pieces is white's bishop. Can you see how white can use a discovered check to win black queen? That's right, bishop a6. White's bishop attacks the queen and also reveal the rook's discovered check on the king. After king 8 or any other king move to get out of check, white wins the queen with bishop takes b7. In this position, black is threatening to checkmate on g2 on the very next move. Can you find a discovered check? That will end black's hopes and win material for white. Very good. Knight e5. The white knight threatens the black queen and also reveals the rook's check on the black king. After king d8, knight takes g4. White wins the queen and also saved his checkmate. In this position, black should play bishop e7 and focus on castling the king. Black does not sense the danger, however, and cannot resist capturing what black thinks is a free bishop on b5. Can you find a way to punish black for his mistake of leaving his king exposed on the e-file? Well, there are some good moves. One of them is knight to g6. This discovers the check against the king and also threatens the rook. But remember, when you find a good move, always look for a better one. White can win the queen with knight takes c6, capturing black knights, threatening the queen and also revealing the discovered check against the king. Even if the queen blocks the check with queen e7, white will win the queen after knight takes e7. What is better than checking the king with one of your pieces? Well, checking the king with two of your pieces. A double check is exactly what it sounds like, giving check with two pieces at the same time. And when you do this, it makes it much harder to get out of check because the king cannot capture or block the check from both of the checking pieces. In this position, white can use a double check to win the game. Knight to f7. Then knight delivers the check and also reveals the rook's check against the king as well. This is a double check, and black cannot escape both check at the same time. Double check is so powerful. It often leads directly to winning material or checkmates. Another of the most important tactics in the chess is called pin. There are two types of pins, absolute pin and relative pin. In an absolute pin, the pin piece cannot move because it would expose the king to a check. In a relative pin, the pin piece can technically move, but doing so would expose a more valuable piece to capture. Both types of pin can be powerful tool in chess, allowing you to restrict your opponent's movement and gain advantage. Let's take a look at some examples of each. Absolute pin. In this example, white's knight on e2 is pinned to the king. If white moves the knight, black's rook can capture white's king. This is an absolute pin because moving the knight would be illegal. Because the knight cannot move, this also means the queen on d4 doesn't have any protection. Black can simply capture the queen, and again, white cannot recapture because the knight is absolutely pinned. In this position, the pawn on c7 is pinned by the bishop on a5. Notice the pawn could move, but then the bishop would be able to take the queen. We call this a relative pin, even though you technically can move the pawn, but you wouldn't want to. Another important tactic to know in chess is the skewer. Think of a skewer as the opposite of a pin. Instead of a less valuable piece being in front of more valuable piece, the more valuable piece is the one being attacked directly. Because the more valuable piece is under attack, it is forced to move, revealing a less valuable piece behind it that can then be captured. In this position, white can play bishop to f3 attacking the black queen. Since the queen is more valuable than the rook behind it, the queen must move, allowing white to capture the rook on next turn. The worst is the king and queen skewer. In this position, notice white's king and queen are lined up on the same diagonal. Now the black bishop can move to f6, putting the king into the check. Obviously the king must move, but when this happens, queen gets captured. This is a classic skewer. We have covered the basic chess tactics like forks, discovered checks, double checks and skewers. If you'd like to go deeper and explore more advanced tactics ideas, let me know in the comments below. In the next tutorial, we can dive into concepts like the art of removing key defender, the famous Greek gift sacrifice, and how strong players build attack step by step. We will also learn about the hidden pressure of x-ray attacks and how interference can break your opponent's coordination. These ideas are well known to experienced players, but understanding them clearly can help you see the board in a new way and turn small advantages into winning positions. If you like the video, please subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon so you don't miss our next tutorial. I will see you in the next one.